I'm Emma. I'm the School and Youth Programs Manager at the Bainbridge Island Museum of Art, and today we're making sun prints. Sun prints are a really great way to take advantage of the properties of really affordable construction paper. If you've ever used cheap construction paper in an art project, you know that the sunlight can fade it really easily, which can be a huge bummer if you're making something where color is really important to you. But our project today is going to be taking advantage of that property, using it to our advantage, and making prints using the sun. You're going to want to find the cheapest possible construction paper. So maybe that's something you already have at home. Maybe you just pick it up at your grocery store like I did. I had the option at my store of choosing from regular construction paper and fade resistant. Because the fade is what we're going for with this project, I didn't go for the more expensive fade resistant paper. The cheapest one on the shelf was perfect for what I needed. So we're going to pick out some objects that have interesting silhouettes, let the sun do its work, and come back and see some sun prints. So as you're choosing the items that you'll be using for your sun prints, you want to think about things that have that interesting silhouette, something that will look good even if you can't see the color, right? Only the shape. So I've got some mason jar lids here that I thought would give us some interesting circles. Fig leaves have a really strong organic shape. And then these coins, especially this old coin that I have from the Philippines, I thought their outlines would give us some cool kind of polka dot shapes. I've got a collection of rocks, flowers, more leaves, really just looking for things that might have an interesting outline. And then with this piece of paper, I actually folded it. I want to see what those folds look like when they're exposed to the sun. You might want to have stones to weigh down the leaves if you're using lighter materials. Want to make sure they don't get blown away in the wind. And then find a sunny spot to leave it out, and I left mine out for about 3 hours. So now I'll take off all of the rocks, take off the items, and you can start to see the sun prints being revealed. Each of them looks different. Some of the colors of construction paper faded in different ways, but they came out really interesting, and I'm excited to use these in other projects. So we'll see you next time on BIMA's Art in Action from Home.
If you saw the video of Washington Park Arboretum, you will have seen how magnificent and glorious the rhododendrons and azaleas are right now, as they are all over Seattle. I found this little bud on the sidewalk this morning while walking my dog, and I feel like even it is worthy of a little vase. So I found a tiny little glass that I'm going to pop it in. So arrangements are really fun to make, and they can be made with flowers that are around your house. These are a bunch of, maybe some people consider weeds, that were growing on my front lawn. So for example, these lovely little field daisies. They are so abundant right now. And I'm just going to put them in a good old plastic cup. We've got buttercups, and we've got forget-me-nots, this beautiful blue color. Add those, and we even have a lovely little dandelion. Put it right in there as well. And there you go. An instant meadow. I'd like to share a video made by my friend Christina, who is a floral designer, and she's going to demonstrate making a beautiful arrangement using flowers and other plants from her backyard. I find the video just relaxing and calming and inspiring to watch, so I hope you enjoy it.
Hey everyone, my name is Christina and today I'm going to show you guys how to make a small floral arrangement by using the materials from your backyard. First and foremost, the thing that I'll be using as a base for our arrangement is going to be this incredibly beautiful dogwood. I actually just cut this right from my front yard, and you're definitely going to want to start with your greenery first whenever you're doing a floral arrangement. This is just a really great way to kind of create a foundation for us to kind of nestle these flowers in here so they stay nice and sturdy. I really like to make my arrangements kind of organic and loose. If you like to make them more pave style design, that's fine as well. Really what that means is just a lot more compact, tight. And every time you go to add a stem of a flower or greenery right before your base, definitely give it a fresh cut. And every time that you do make a cut, make sure to cut at an angle, at a 45-degree angle. The purpose for doing this is just that it gives a wider space for the flower to drink. But yeah, so now we have our greenery set, and the next step that we're really going to want to do is putting these big focal flowers in. This will kind of help us know what direction the shape is going. Since this one is so big, I'm going to go ahead and put him right here, right at the bottom. And also, I didn't mention the vase that I'll be using today is equivalent to the size of a mason jar. So if you have that at home, that also works. Okay, so we got our peony here. Let's see. I'm gonna keep this. I typically like to use 3 big points of design. So maybe one low, one medium, and one out here. It just helps create a little bit more balance for the arrangement. Perfect. Got these guys going. And then, how are we doing here? Pretty good so far? Okay. So the next thing that we're going to want to put in, I think we'll use these beautiful calla lilies. Again, make sure to give a fresh cut before kind of putting these in. Perfect. A lot of people view floral design as a form of art therapy. It's just a really great way to not only get outside to get those materials, but a creative way to connect with nature. Perfect, I got these here. Perfect. Let's see here, how are we doing? Got our colors okay. Now it looks like this guy keeps kind of moving around. So anytime you feel like things are getting a little too loose, definitely make sure just to add a little bit more greenery at the base. It'll help keep things nice and tight. Perfect. Alrighty, so we have our base flowers here. Added a pop of white by using these calla lilies. I actually didn't even know I had these in my yard until my neighbor pointed them out the other day because they were hiding on the side of the house. Alrighty, and then the last thing that we're going to use for this arrangement is a beautiful Lisianthus. It's our chartreuse green. This is much more of a whimsy flower, kind of really light and airy, and I always like to put those type of flowers in last to kind of give the arrangement a little bit of height and also add some fun texture too. have one right back here. You can kind of see how the colors follow each other. So we've got some pink on this side at the base, and then it comes in the back. Same with the white here, right on the outside, to the middle, to the back, and now the same with the greens. Definitely helps kind of the overall color palette blend together really well. Let's take a look here how we're doing. Just got a little bit jammed here. Maybe a little bit more here. Get some more flower. There's really no wrong way to do floral design when creating something beautiful from your backyard. My main tip to make sure the flowers that are lasting as long as possible is just always giving again a fresh snip at the end of the stem and also changing out the water every few days. All right. I want this little one to show a little bit more. And also kind of just seeing what feels right. This one feels a little too tall. We're gonna readjust here. The scissors I'm using are actually garden clippers. You can use regular scissors if that's all you have, but these work really great for all kinds of stems. I like that much better. It's all the flowers you can see really well. Alrighty, so here's our final product for our small coffee table, bedside. You can put this as a centerpiece. Again, just a few things to think about. This vase is a little bit taller than a mason jar, but that will really work great. And again, make sure you're changing out the water.
Hi, I'm Susan from Plum, and today we're going to take a peek at this charming garden shed owned by Dea and Peter Perry, owners of Bainbridge Island Premier Landscape Garden Design, Aurora Floralis. Let's go in and see what Dea's got going for us. Hey Dea!
Oh, hi.
What you got going?
Oh, well, we're going to plant up some container gardens with herbs today.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah. It's fun. It's great weather, but even if it's not great weather, you can do it. Hi, everybody. I'm going to show you how to pot up your herbs in an herb garden or container garden. You can pot them up in a ceramic, wood, or we prefer galvanized metal. You have to make sure whatever you potted up in has drain holes, and we had to put these holes in here with a big, huge drill. My husband was close by, so he insisted on doing that. We could have done it. So you have to make sure you have the right bit, right holes for drainage. First, you want to plug your holes with semi-large stones. Plug those holes up. Then you add a teeny bit of gravel to each pot, not too much so that it doesn't get too heavy. And then that should do it. Then you want to add your soil to come up just to the bottom of your pot. So let's add your soil nice potting soil. It has enough vermiculite in there, and vermiculite helps with drainage and aerates the soil and keeps the moisture in, so your pots don't dry up too fast. Okay, then when you get your level right, you want to add a little bit of water so that it compresses down a teeny bit. There we go. Mix it up, nice. Then you put in your plants. There's your tallest ones are your cilantro or your sage. Put the sage in the middle. That'll look good. And you've got thyme. We've all got a lot of thyme right now, don't we? And we've got basil. Look how root bound that is. You've got to kind of squeeze the roots around the outside. And rosemary. Okay. Then you've got them in place. All your textures are there, different textures, and you add more soil just to the top of the grade of the top of the plant. There. Compress it down just a teeny bit, not too much, because you want to make sure that these guys are nesting in there, just like that. Okay. Almost there. It's pretty easy to do. You can do it at home, or you can contact info@plumbainbridge.com and they can make them up for you, or do it yourself. Okay, isn't that pretty? So all you need to do to pinch your plants when you want to use the herbs is just pinch it like that, or basil. Pesto plant. I love pesto. Okay, guys, that's it. Enjoy.
Hi everybody, we're here at Washington Park Arboretum, where the azaleas and the rhododendrons are in full splendor. Let's go take a walk. The air is so fragrant with the scent of these azaleas and rhododendrons. That beautiful golden color, nature's first hue. Looks like these are just starting to come out. Those are the deciduous azaleas. And they tend to be even the most fragrant. Here we're going to get up close and go inside one of these beautiful rhododendron flowers. So here you can see the stamens and the pistil inside the flower. And here are the stamens with their anthers. Let's go inside this deep pink colored rhododendron. Again, there's the pistil and the stamens. And here are those beautiful spots, really close up inside the rhododendron.
I sank into the earth with a sigh, right through the grass and spring flowers, right down past the buttercup roots, past rocks and buried things. A goldfish skeleton in an old Band-Aid box, a dog skeleton wearing tattered remains of a yellow terry cloth robe. I swam around, just exploring. Then I rested long and peaceful. So quiet, so warm, despite the cold drizzle above. I rested for years. Little burrowing animals, chipmunks and bunnies, mice and voles and moles, nested for a season in my cranium, slept cuddled against all my old thoughts. Their children scurried along my shin bones, played ragtime tunes on my teeth. A cedar tree planted itself right over me, sent its roots down, down to curl around me, finally working all through my bones, between my ribs and fingers, circling and twisting and holding. The cedar, fed by my body, grew tall and strong as 100 years went by. Messages came down between the delicate layers of tree skin, the birds, the clouds, the sky, that world. We sent back messages of rootedness in the earth, the nourishing dark, the comfort, the peace, that embrace.
Hi everyone, my name is Katie Freeman, and I'm the Memory Loss Program Coordinator over at the Greenwood Senior Center. I also lead meditation groups twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays. So happy that you're here to join me today. Today I'm going to guide you through a simple mindfulness meditation practice. And mindfulness meditation is all about being in the present moment. Our minds have a tendency to cling on to things that happened in the past or to worry about what we're going to do next. So with mindfulness, we can really tune in to what's happening in this present moment and to try to find a sense of peace in what's going on around us right now. Let's begin. So we'll start with our eyes open. And what I want you to do is just quickly scan around your room and just look at the things that you can see. Often these are objects that are around us every single day, but we may not really be paying attention to them. So take a moment, let your eyes fall on one object, and just take a second to really look at it. Notice the color, the form, whatever quality it has. Really take your time observing that thing. When you're ready, you can go ahead and close your eyes. Just like we did with our sense of sight, we'll tune into our sense of hearing now. Again, really listening to what sounds are present right here in this moment. You might notice a subtle noise, the ticking of a clock, the sound of your own breathing. Or it may be more disruptive. You may be hearing the noise of traffic from outside your window, perhaps a noisy neighbor. Whatever it is, just tune into the different qualities of that sound, just noting what it is. Now we'll turn to our sense of touch, an awareness of the body. And first we'll feel into the points of contact between our body and whatever it is that you're sitting on. You might first notice your feet pressed against the ground, your legs on a chair, a cushion, whatever it is. Just take a minute to really feel. And as we're doing this part of the meditation, it's good to check in and make sure that you're in a comfortable position. When we're sitting for meditation, we want to try to keep the spine straight and upright. That allows us to get the deepest breath. But if you find that's uncomfortable, just find whatever it is that works for you. So this is a good point in our meditation practice to really check in to your position. Ideally, we want to keep our spine straight and upright, as that gives us the most or the deepest breath that we can take. But really see if you're comfortable in this position. There's no need for discomfort to distract us from what we're trying to do today. So go ahead and adjust. Really sink in to your position and make it comfortable. And in our practice today, we're going to use the breath as an anchor to keep us in the present moment. That's what we're going to focus our attention on. So in your own time, just start to notice how it feels to breathe in and out, letting the breath come in gently through the nose and out the mouth. We're not trying to change the pace of our breathing or breathe in any sort of pattern. We're just noticing it, just paying attention to how, with this breath, how do I feel that in my body? And as you breathe in and out, you may notice the air coming in through your nose. Just follow that, traveling down into your lungs, expanding your chest and your diaphragm, and then coming out the mouth. Really take the time to track that full cycle of breath. And this close attention to the breath is really at the heart of our meditation practice. This is something that we can return to over and over again. As we do this, you may notice that it's challenging to just pay attention to the breath. We don't often just sit down and pay attention to one thing. Our minds tend to be all over the place, considering what's happening next, thinking about what someone said before we started this meditation. But it's good to remember that, that's what the brain evolved to be, to think so much. So if you notice yourself thinking, getting distracted, not being in the moment, just gently redirect that attention back to the breath. There's no judgment when we find that our minds have wandered. Just that gentle redirection back to that rhythmic in and out. Now that you're paying close attention to your breath, you might start to notice the 4 different parts of the breath cycle. And those 4 are just that first in-breath, really filling your lungs, expanding your diaphragm. The second part is just that subtle pause after the in-breath, where you're holding everything in place. Next comes the out-breath as you let that air out through the mouth, letting the lungs deflate, your stomach come back down. And then again, just a subtle pause. And after that pause, we start all over again with the in-breath, pause, out-breath, pause. Take a couple of cycles of breath where you try to notice each part and see how it feels in your body. What's different with the in-breath than the pause, than the out-breath? What do you feel in all of those different parts? We're tuning in just to those very subtle variances. So subtle that we often just don't notice them during the day. We're paying attention with a sense of curiosity to something that we take for granted. We're being curious about how that really feels, what it does for us, what moves, what's here. If you find that your mind is wandering often, again, we're not placing any judgment on that fact. We're just noticing, oh, this is what my brain is doing today. But if you do find yourself getting distracted, it might be helpful to use this phrase, matching the in-breath and the out-breath. Just saying it silently to yourself, or if you want, saying it out loud. Breathing in, I know that I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I am breathing out. Breathing in, I know that I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I am breathing out. I like to use that phrase because the length of it, for me, matches up with the length of my in-breath. So the whole phrase fills up that breath and that out-breath. But if it feels maybe a little wordy, maybe a little too long for you, you can always make it just simply in, out. In, out. Using that word or that phrase as our anchor to pair with the breath. Just really rooting us to the present moment. Breathing in, I know that I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I am breathing out. And we'll take the next few moments just to really sit in this silence. You can choose what anchor you'd like to use, matching your breath. And as we come to the end of our meditation practice today, I'll have you expand your field of awareness from the breath to the whole body. Noticing again those points of contact between your body and the chair, between your feet and the ground, your arms resting in your lap. Next, we'll keep expanding that field of awareness, tuning into the sounds around us, bringing us back into the space that we're in. Again, listening to those subtle sounds, those loud sounds, whatever it is, just listening with curiosity, just noticing what's here. And at the sound of the bell, I'll have you go ahead and open your eyes whenever you're ready. You can take a moment as you're opening your eyes just to adjust back to seeing whatever it is that's around you. You can take one last deep breath with me today. Again, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Well, I hope that practice brought just a little bit of peace, a little bit of pause to your day. And again, thank you for joining me today. Bye, everyone.